Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone had a great day yesterday. Hope you're having a good morning today. Let's get this show on the road. Good morning, Norm. How is your morning so far?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm hanging in there. I'm a little sick, so you might have to carry me a little bit on this one.
Oh, no worries, man. Hope you
How are
feel
you doing?
better. I'm doing good. A little tired.
Thanks.
Didn't get enough sleep yesterday, but I'm feeling all right though. Feeling all right.
All right.
All right, excellent, guys. Let's get as usual over our top plays and highlights from our watch list yesterday. We had some low floats here as well. We'll see how those traded, and then we'll get into our gappers list. Looking a little better earlier today in the chat room around 8:15 when we opened up at around 8 o'clock in the morning when we opened up. We only had QCOM in here, so now we see some more that are crawling in here. So we'll check those out. Then we'll get into our Nasdaq active, Nasdaq gainers, and we'll get into that. All right, so let's look at what we have. So let's start over with DPZ. DPZ traded actually very nice. I did not expect it was going to trade as well. A little higher price stock. I did have it on my watch list, but I'm usually not inclined to trade stocks that are above 150. And again, that's nothing wrong with that. It's just my style of trading, right? Between $20 to 150 is my range. Even better between 20 and 80 when there's a lot of stocks in play. If I have a lot of stocks on here and they all look great, then you can go down to your secondary criteria, right? You can go down to, okay, let me look at some prices that within the price range that I like to trade. You can start doing that, right? You don't want to watch 20 stocks, just way too much. So that's where you can go down to. Just start peeling things off that don't meet your preferred criteria is the best way to put it. So DPZ here opened up really nice, gave you a beautiful pop here. Not great for open range breakout on the 5 because you would have been stopped out, but on the 2-minute it was great. If you do trade on the 2-minute, you can see here it comes down, tests the VWAP, and then back up, breaks the high of the day, and then hits this level we had here, which is the high from today, I'm assuming, from yesterday. Then from there, it does a beautiful drop to VWAP. You don't want to go short here just yet. You want to make sure this continuation is going to happen. Once you start seeing these candles, all indecision candles, the minute this one happens, that's when you start looking at this for a short, and you can see it turn out to be an amazing short. Hits the low of the day at that time, which is a great area to take a partial. Cracks that, continues all the way down towards almost this 247.89 level that we had. I think that was the low of the pre-market or so. Hits it almost right on it, and then it just chops around a bit around here. Still heading low, trying to get to the view up, but couldn't make it. Heads lower again, almost close to that 247 level. So again, tough trade to take here for open range. You would have been stopped out probably in this week here. And then here you can see a beautiful loss of VWAP towards the low of the day and towards the low of the pre-market. AMD also traded again beautifully. We talked about AMD and MU. Those first few minutes could be very choppy, but this area actually, if you look at this area here, it's kind of clean. You have a nice double bottom coming in here. Obviously, when it comes to the second bottom here, it does not get down towards the low of the day. So you can see the buying pressure coming in, pushing this up. Again, you might not want to get into this area yet because MU and AMD tend to be choppy the first few minutes. But then check this out. Once it starts making higher highs, higher lows, after almost testing this this bottom here, you can see just the volume nicely coming in, and you can see how it leaves over here, over towards the high of the day at that time, and it just goes nicely all the way up to these levels. So again, very clean AMD after it settles in. It's kind of what we talked about. Wait for these stocks to settle in and look for an opportunity. JB Hunt was not clean, guys. This was very difficult to trade. You can see here it drops down, then recovers immediately on the next candle. So open range breakdown here would have stopped you out. Then here, if you got in here for the break of the VWAP, this could have been a good trade, but that's not an easy trade to take. I don't usually take those type of trades because I'm usually short biased when I see some type of movement like this. Comes back up here, does this indecision candle. Indecision candle, basically, guys, for those who are new, is any candle that you can see that the wicks are almost, the buyers try to push this, the sellers try to push this down, the buyers try to push this up. They're almost the same amount. They're even. We talked about this in class 4, I believe, or class 3, indecision candles. And then this beautiful drop here all the way back down towards the low of the day. So again, just kind of some V reversals happening here. Not easy to trade, and then it just gets very choppy in this area here. You can see the candles just kind of engulfing the previous candles. That's not clean. Very difficult to take a trade on here for JB Hunt. It does lose the VWAP one more time and then heads right back down towards the low of the day. But again, just not as clean as you would like to as we would like to see. Here's MU. MU again, nice drop, comes back up, tests the VWAP and this moving average, and then it didn't trade clean at all, guys. Very choppy for the entire rest of the morning. You had one one drop for an opportunity here. Open range breakdown on the 5 would have probably stopped you out. Probably take a partial here as it cracked the low of the day. On the way back up, you'd have been stopped out at break even. And then from there, it just kind of coils around the VWAP, not giving you any good opportunity. Around 11:35 or so, the market did start selling off. We'll look at the SPY in a second. We had a nice big drop happening around 11:35 or so. I'm not sure what caused it. We'll see if Norm has some information on that when we get to the news. And then here you can see just kind of hangs out, kind of consolidating, and then you get this beautiful drop. Not sure what caused this neither. But again, overall, the morning on MU was not great. JP Morgan was another one that traded very nice. Look at this beautiful pre-market action. You know at the open there's going to be some profit taken, and here's your profit take. You see it comes right down to the VWAPs, the levels we have here, the moving averages, and it's bought right back up. Once you see that type of movement, you could tell the stock is going to be strong. It holds its moving averages, tests it one more time, still doesn't lose the VWAP, it's holding it nicely, and then from there it takes off. So if you was looking for that type of trend trade here, this is a good opportunity. Heads higher, cracks the high of the day and the high of the pre-market, I believe was this level we had, 114.54, and then heads towards 115. So that traded a little better in the morning, great pre-market action, and then from there it just becomes pretty flat in this area here. Johnson & Johnson was very tough, guys, very difficult to trade. You had a beautiful big drop here. You could have gotten in for a 2-minute opening range breakdown in this area here for a quick scalp. Then from there it engulfs the previous candle. This could be a good close to an engulfing crack, but not really. I like it to close a little bit more up here opposed to coming back down in this pullback. But if you took this for an engulfing crack open, you can got in here and could have taken some out towards the high of the day. Then from here you get the drop, and then it's just choppy all around. Nothing much going on there. So not as clean. And we expected that. Johnson & Johnson, look, we talked about the volume yesterday, right? How the volume is not great. Look at this first candle. All the volume is there. Then after that, it just completely dies down. Not much happening. And this is why you get this type of nasty trading throughout the day. CARP, one of the low flow stocks we had yesterday. As you can see, it just didn't do much, sold off. It just became very nasty in this area. IMRN also just sold off as well. We had some levels on this thing here, but again, just didn't do much. It's kind of sold off for the rest of the day. So that is what we had yesterday, guys. Let's talk about the SPY and what news we have in the markets this morning.
Yeah, good morning. Like we've mentioned, we've got earnings starting to pile in. We had Bank of America and a number of others report this morning. ASML, which is a semiconductor company based out of the Netherlands, that reported better than expected info. So, that's popping. That's what's causing Qualcomm to pop. And CSX, the rail transport company, reported last night. That was weaker. A lot of people use that as a barometer to how the economy is doing, because if the economy is slowing down, then shipments of items to produce things and coal and everything else slows down. So that's kind of the broad overview. This morning we have a couple of economic pieces of data coming out. Housing starts, building permits, 8:30, and then I believe one of the Fed members speaks this afternoon at 1:30 Eastern. So other than that, and then you also mentioned when you were looking at those charts, kind of going over what was on the watch list yesterday, that midday plummet. That was the president, I believe, in a news conference mentioned that we've got a long way to go dealing with China trade issues. So that kind of caused things to sell off and be a little bit rough for the rest of the day, almost entirely across the market. And then on a one-off, Facebook, this is their second of 2 days of testimony in the Congress. Today it is the, I believe, head of development for their cryptocurrency endeavor, Libra. And so that might cause a little bit of craziness in Facebook today. We'll keep an eye on it and see what it's doing. So overall, that's kind of what's going on. By the end of the week on Friday, we get up to over 100 companies per day reporting earnings. So we'll have a little bit of fuel to get the markets going one way or the other over the next couple of weeks before it dies off again in August.
Excellent, man. I'm looking forward to that. All right, guys. So let's get into our gappers list in here. We have quite a few on there. Let's remove what we have here from yesterday, and let's start with the top. We have make some columns. Okay, so we have here FRAN. So FRAN is up 59%. 1 million shares traded so far. What's the float on this one? It is a very low float, 2.3 million shares float, guys. So this is one that we really want to throw down here in our risky pile.
So before you even get into this, and I'll just kind of give you the background. This is Francesca's, which is a women's retail clothing and accessory company that's had some really rough financial. If you pull up the daily and go back some time, you'll see how bad a shape this thing is in. It's got a 36% short float, I believe, which means, over a third of the company is being held short in longer term positions as of last reporting, which is and I've seen a couple of pieces of data that have it higher than that, even up in the higher mid to higher 30s. So I believe the news on this is that there was a hedge fund that's taken a position in this, and I don't know what their motivations are, but this is what a short squeeze looks like. This is why you got to be really careful holding shorts overnight, especially in things like this, because you have something come, especially a low float. That somebody can come in and something can happen, and this is almost purely a short squeeze, where you've lost over half your money already if you just woke up and you were holding this short overnight.
Yeah, no, this is a tough one here too. And you can see yesterday it's been having a couple of red days here, a decent one yesterday, and then you wake up this morning and this thing is, gapping up 57%. So that's tough, man. I cannot sleep holding stuff overnight. It's just not the way I can trade. So here, again, pretty active. We'll see how this news affects this. Obviously, they got some really good volume, 1 million shares traded right now. Pre-market action looks amazing. It looks very clean here on the activity. So we'll take a look at it. We just got to keep in mind that this is a 2.3 million shares float, and it can move very aggressively. So, all right, next we have QCOM on here. QCOM is one of those stocks that doesn't trade very clean. We traded in the past before. It can be very choppy. If you guys remember this day here, this was very nice. It was trading very clean. And then we had some indecisions and some more pops on here. And then in this area, it was just horrible to trade. We tried to catch in a few moves on here. It was just not clean at all. So very choppy. And the pre-market, and I'm sorry, the price action, if you look at it closely, sometimes the spread, and Norm, correct me if I'm wrong, but the spread in some cases was up to 30 cents. It was just insane.
Qualcomm trades very strangely. I don't quite understand why, but it can be very difficult to trade. Like you said, that one day back in mid-April with the big white candle, that was when they announced that they had come to a resolution of their lawsuits with Apple, and they came to a settlement, which was going to prove to be beneficial for Qualcomm, excuse me.
Yep.
So that's what caused that, and there were a couple of decent trading days in there. But other than that, when it has that massive volume, it's really weird.
Yeah. So we'll see. They're gapping up quite a bit today. They're up 4.7. Pre-market action not looking too great at the moment, but this is normal for this type of stock. And then again, just not one of my favorites to trade, but looks good. We'll definitely take a look at it. It looks like to be in play this morning. AVRO is one that we looked at before.
They're trading up. I don't believe Qualcomm has their own news. They're trading up on ASML's earnings report that came out overnight. So
okay, gotcha.
From what I can tell.
All right, excellent. So here, guys, we have AVRO is up 4.1. This one is 23 million shares flow, so not a low flow, but a lower size flow compared to what we're used to trading. 167,000 shares traded so far. Daily looks very interesting, guys. So we're going on 3 consecutive nice big days today, gapping up 4.1. We obviously tested some of these levels. Look how this level here has been tested. Also, this level here, the high from 2 days ago, and then also you have here the high from yesterday. Also levels where you can see previously going back, you clearly have support and resistance. So these technicals are playing out very, very nicely. Look at the low from 2 days ago, how that is also support in this area here. and then also resistance as well on the way back. So again, some good supports there. I do like the daily chart on this one. We got another area of resistance up here. We have a moving average close to the low of the day. So we'll get into those details when we do our levels. Pre-market activity right now not looking great, although it has 190,000 shares traded. This pre-market activity is not looking awesome at all. So let's hope that this gets better as the day gets going. FMS, FMS, what
FML.
FM, yeah, right. So FMS here is down 4.2, 127,000 shares traded. Looks to be a foreign stock. Just based on the daily, you can see the daily has a lot of gaps in here. It's gapping up and down. It's just nasty candles, not nice and clean. They don't got no big body candles. Just everything looks very tight and small. Almost no wicks in a lot of these. So not clean. Norm, what's causing this drop today on this one here? Anything?
Yeah, it is a German company, and that's why you're pointing that out. So they're pretty big in the field of dialysis. And CVS reported this morning or yesterday that they're going to try to get into the home dialysis business, which would provide pretty big competition for those guys.
Okay, so we'll have to check out how this develops. Again, pre-market action not looking too great, and the daily charts not looking good at all. First time I'm seeing this stock here, so we'll keep it on here just to see how the pre-market action develops with this news. Maybe we can get something out of it. CSX, Norm already updated us on what's going on here. This one is down 7.5, 133,000 shares traded. I do like some of the levels I'm seeing here already on the daily. The day looks a little funky, especially in this area here, guys. Look, whoa, this area here just looks very choppy. Here starts going a nice little range on the daily. You can see here creating some good levels of support and resistance. And then here right now sitting really right at this support where the price action is. You got a moving average coming down here as well. So this could be interesting. I do like the daily chart over in this area here, right? Let's go into our pre-market activity. Right now, pre-market activity not looking too great. Only 135,000 shares traded. But this is worth taking a look as the morning develops. Let's get into our NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers. VISL, this one popped up before. Let's go. Yeah, here we had a day where it had gapped up quite a bit here. Actually, gapped up over here, guys. Gave you a nice little pop to 8, probably in the pre-market. And then look at this drop, just massive drop. Next day gaps down, another drop right back down where it came from. So it kind of tells you this kind of stock is how dangerous it could be. Be very careful if you're going to trade this.
This is less than 2 million float, and I've seen it on StockTwits and Twitter being pumped by some small cap trading rooms and stuff. So
yeah, this is the stuff you want to stay away from, guys. So this morning already, you can see a nice pop over here all the way up to 250-ish or so, and now it's just right back down. So again, out of the low floats, this is very low float and also not trading well. So you just want to avoid this. If you want to trade low floats, look for something that actually looks clean like this one, that you have some good activity, some good volume. That one doesn't trade well at all. So we'll skip that one. Next, number 3 here, we have Eric. Eric usually on this list. Let's see what it's doing today. It's got some good volume, 1 million shares traded so far. It is dropping nicely today. Let's see what the flow is on this one.
It's huge.
It's huge. Wow, this is a radio and television broadcasting. Okay, so interesting.
No, this is Ericsson, a telecom company.
Oh, okay, here we go. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I still make phones.
So I don't know why TI calls it that. I guess it's the segment it throws it in. But this is Ericsson. It's a European, I believe it's European, right? Telecom company, and I believe they reported earnings this morning. So that's what's causing that.
Okay, all right. So this could be interesting to watch, guys. Down 9.5. Got some good activity here. Daily chart doesn't look great, but this can get going on a nice little downtrend. We do have shares for sure, depending how much drop we get. It might go on short selling restriction. When we do our levels, we'll try to find some good levels on here. You can see the daily's not clean, but with this type of news, this could be in play today. So we'll have to check it out and see what we can get out of this one. We'll throw this one up here. Next, we have TR.
It can be very difficult to trade. It's only got a 14-cent ATR. But, I mean, if it's in play, it might move more than that. But that huge drop really is only 70 cents or something.
Yeah, no, it's not definitely not a high ATR. The good thing about it is it has a low price, so you could take a little more shares. But again, just a lot of it stuff's not going great for like this daily. Doesn't look good at all. So we'll see what we can get out of that one, or if we find something better, we'll definitely replace it. TRNX, usually penny stock, not trading well. Same thing with SLS. As we look at it, we see those daily on here. HSI is 519,000 shares traded. Not a great pre-market activity right now. You got this pop here, and then it's just kind of going flat with not great action there. Let's see what the flow is on this one. It's a 14 million shares float. Let's check the daily. Again, daily just doesn't look clean, guys. It looks like it sells off more often than not. You have one day here, has a nice volume, has a little pop. But overall, it seems it's just all red candles. Look at this, just all red candles here. Even on every gap that it does, it just sells down. And you can see that also here. And it's a recent IPO as well. It just opened up, looks like in May. So, all right. So I'm going to stay away from this. A lot on here I don't like. Again, a lot of red candles. Every time it gaps up, it sells down. So this was one to stay away from today. ISSINT, not much happening here. Penny stock. AMD, our buddy. Let's see what we got going on here. So yesterday it did pop over the high, above the high from 2 days ago. So that's nice. I think today is gonna, he's gonna get the volume. So we'll see what it does today as well. Worth giving it a shot. Right now, pre-market activity is very low, and the volume is, I know it's 423,000 shares traded, but that's pretty low for AMD. That's normal. So we'll see what we can get out of that. FCEL, also penny stock. We'll skip that one. And then volatility index TVIX, as you can see here, is slightly down. Not much going on at the moment. All right, over to our NASDAQ gainers. So this one we looked at. This one we have YTRA. YTRA, 130,000 shares traded. What's the flow on this one? Daily chart doesn't look great neither. 28 million shares flow. So it's not a low flow. Smaller cap, but not a low flow. You do have some days where you do get some volume here. Look at this nice pop. And it did held, right? It came over here and it held from selling off completely. Daily chart's not clean, guys. I don't see a lot of gray areas of support and resistance in this daily chart. Some really nasty candles in here as well throughout the days. It is popping up quite a bit today, 17.3. But if we look into the details, look at this pre-market activity. It's just not great. If this gets better, we can look into it. It looks like it has been halted already because we do have a T here. Trading resumed. So again, just not looking great right now. VISL, we looked at, guys. Stay away from this. This is very dangerous stock here, very low flow and not trading well. SGEN only 14,000 units traded so far. Shares, nasty daily chart, and I don't see anything exciting on this one at the moment. So I'm just gonna skip this one. AVRO, we have. Do we have? Yeah, we do have right here, up 7.2. CAPR, this one's just been nasty, guys. Hasn't been trading well. Look at this daily candles here. So right now it's up 8.3 with small volume, only 50,000 shares traded. But this one just trades nasty. Look how it traded yesterday at the open. Just not clean at all. Nice drop here. It just kind of sells off. You do get this pop here, but then right back down. So again, it's just very difficult to trade these type of low flow stocks. AVRO, we have TANH. This one on here, not doing much. ASML, also no volume. And TXMD, only 8,000 shares traded, so no volume there neither. All right, guys, what do you have, Norm, today? What do you like on your list?
To be frank, Carlos, not a whole lot. I'll have my eye on Facebook because of what I mentioned earlier. There's like zero volume and it's completely flat as of this moment. Apple's been kind of in a range. NVIDIA, we talk about it all the time, barely has any movement in the pre-market many days. I'll have my eye on that. That ASML news might help. So I think NVIDIA and then Roku obviously had that massive move yesterday.
Yeah.
So that might start moving at some point today. I'll have my eye probably mostly on NVIDIA and Roku.
Yeah, Roku's daily chart looks amazing.
Yeah, that was absolutely a crazy move. And then that's about it that the four that I usually watch, but I'm not finding a whole lot extra this morning to keep an eye on.
All right, excellent. Yeah, Roku's will be worth definitely if you're not watching this one, put it on your secondary list and look out for it on the scanners because this thing just has been on fire. This is the all-time high now, I believe, at 113 or so, 114 almost.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the all-time high. You might see some profit taking this morning, and do not short strong stocks. That's what Brian always tells us, and we saw that yesterday, and we've seen that with Roku over a couple of days where it sells down and then just shoots right back up. So very careful. All right, so let's see what you guys are watching on your end.
Yeah, trading Roku is not for the faint of heart. So just watch your share size on it because it can be tough.
It can definitely move. Actually, let me check what the ATR is now, $4.61. But obviously, the last couple of days has been trading very, very aggressive. So be very careful. And the price action itself is very whippy if you look at it closely. So you got to definitely watch your size on there. Okay, so now let's look at XBIO. So XBIO is 102,000 shares traded, down 47%. That's nice. Daily chart looks horrible though. This daily here is just really, really nasty. This drop is great. You got an area of support here that just kind of blew through in this morning. What is the flow on XBIO? I don't think I ever traded this one. Oh my God, 283,000 shares. Okay, yeah, this is dangerous, guys. It's really dangerous. Be very, very careful with this. Again, has a nasty daily chart. I don't have shares for short. Not that we'll be looking to short something with that flow. That can only mean bad news. But if this is in your criteria, in your wheelhouse, definitely go for it, man. But again, I just be very, very careful with that one. What do we have for Roku? Yeah, I'm gonna add Roku on here. We'll look at some stuff on Roku there. SCHW. Let's see what SCHW is doing. Not much activity right now. No volume at the moment. Let's just check the daily chart. Had a decent day yesterday, but not much going on today. What else we have, guys? Let's look at Tesla, BP, and let's start. Let me just go up. I missed some over here.
I saw Tesla earlier. That was a little bit interesting.
Okay. So we looked at YTRA. YTRA. So this is an acquisition agreement by EBIX. Let's look at EBIX. See what's going on there. So YTRA, all right, so this is why this is looking so nasty the way it is now, not much volume. And then EBIX also doesn't have a lot of volume. So they got some news between each other, but not really anything clean going on right now. So we'll be on the lookout for those in our scanners. Next we have NUS. Down 22%, only 42,000 shares traded so far. I do like this drop here, but again, just the volume is not there right now. So that's my only concern with this one. If it hits our scanners, we can definitely tune into it. 54 million shares flow, so that's not a low flow, definitely worth looking at. But just the activity right now and the volume is not really there, guys. All right, what else do we have? Let's look at Roku. Roku, we're going to watch Tesla, see what Tesla's up to. Oh, pre-market actually is looking very nice for Tesla this morning. Let's check the daily. And the daily has been really, really nice too as well. Broke out of this resistance we had 2 days ago. So that's nice. What do we have coming up? Yeah, we have some good levels coming up as well. We can get into that in a second. All right, yeah, Tesla looks interesting. BBBY. All right, BBBY is up to 1.2%. Not much activity right now, but the daily seems to have found some kind of support around 1051. We traded this one, I believe it was on this drop here or this one. I don't remember. It probably was this one. This is where it had gapped down a bit, right? Price was up here and it gapped down all the way down here. I think this was the day we looked at it. Was able to take some trades out of that. So today is interesting, but it can go either way. It can probably be putting in a bounce, but right now that the price action activity and volume are not there right now. But I see what you're saying, Vladimir. Is very interesting on the daily. Could be a good one to watch later on today. BP is a foreign stock, guys, and usually doesn't trade very well. So yeah, it's just one of those things where it can be very, very choppy and not move. Today's down 1.2, 630,000 shares traded. But look at all these gaps up and down here. And it doesn't move much neither, right? Let's take a look at this day here. You're around 42.50. And then this drop here is almost 42, right, at this area here. And then this one probably, let's say 41.80ish or so. So it doesn't move much on top of that. And you don't get clean out price action. So you want to just avoid something like this, right? You don't want to get caught in something that's going to take hours to make a move for, for a couple of cents. So, and then on top of that, our strategies on these type of stocks tend to not work very well, right? So you think you're seeing an open range breakup, you're not going to get the movement. You think you're seeing an ABCD pattern, you're not going to get the volume. So you just want to avoid things like that because chop around. I'm not sure what the news is and whether they're gapping down, but overall, you can't go by just the gaps because it does that all the time, right? All the time it gaps up or down. So you just can't really, play the gaps when it comes to these type of stocks. All right, EA, let's look at that. EA, we did trade review on yesterday, I believe, and I think this was one of the stocks that was on there. Someone traded it very nice for a short. If you have not been to one of our trade reviews, William does them every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I think tonight we're doing that. I'm not going to get ahead of the announcement, but I think tonight we're doing one too at 8 p.m. So Norm will speak a little bit more about that. But again, very, very insightful stuff. You can see how other people are trading different things, their style they're trading, and we can definitely learn from others as they're taking some good trades. So EA at the moment, no activity. We'll skip this one right now. Daily looks interesting, guys. Yes, I see what you're looking at. I agree. 92. This was clearly a level of, even though with this nasty daily chart here, right, very choppy, a clear level of support here. You have some wicks that went under it, but they shot back up. The minute they went under this 92, you can see the buying pressure in a lot of days throughout this, from May till now. And then we had this beautiful drop here, also losing some of these levels here. So this could be interesting. It could put in a play one way or the other. Could be worth watching for later in the midday, in the mid-morning, see how it plays out. Bank of America, I don't know.
Trades terribly.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any news on it today. Don't be fooled by this volume, guys.
They had earnings this morning, but I can just tell you, like Kurt and I took Wells Fargo yesterday. Mm-hmm. It took like 30 minutes to get 4-cent move out of it, and Bank of America is the same way mostly.
Yeah.
Like there might be one day a year when Bank of America actually moves.
I did the same thing, man. I took a WFC short, and when I saw the drop, I'm like, oh my God, this is great. I took most of it out, and I'm like, oh, it's only that much, because you're used to seeing these big moves. You think it's 40, 50 cents, and it's not even that. So, yep, I'm with you there. Bank of America is in the same wheelhouse as well, same boat. It doesn't really move a lot. And you can see this here with the daily chart, very choppy. So unless there's some serious bad or great news, or the market is tanking, and even then, it's just, you could find, if that's happening, like in this area here, something else better. I was just gonna say that something else better that you can trade than this one, right? Look for AMD, look for MU, look for a Roku, a SQ, one of the ones that has volume. The market starts tanking, you can take advantage of that. All right, guys, so that is what we have right now. Let's get into some news, and then we'll look into some support and resistance on these stocks we're watching today.
Yeah, so for announcements, you have your Trading and Probabilities Workshop Wednesday today. It will be at noon Eastern in the classroom. The chat room, this room that we're in now, will be open at the same time. So you can tune into both if you like, be able to trade, be able to take part in the workshop. We are scheduling those out through the end of August. So we've got some really cool ideas and different people presenting coming up. So it should be great. As Carlos mentioned earlier, William usually does his much loved trade reviews the last hour of the market on Tuesdays and Thursdays. He has thrown Wednesday night into the routine for those people that can't be around at 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern. So Wednesday night, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, after you get out of work or whatever, you can come do a trade review, take a snapshot of your 1 5-minute charts or 2 and 5-minute charts, just a couple of time frames, and take a screenshot of it and post them in there, and William will go over your trades. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, we have YouTube and Facebook Live Ask Me Anything, our next in that series. It is going to be myself and Eamon. So look forward to seeing you there. And let's see here. Ask Me Almost Anything. Next Lifetime webinar is next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Pasadena meetup is on July 27th. And Phoenix on August 2nd. Is that right, Abiel? I thought they were back-to-back, but maybe I'm wrong. So check the forums, check our Facebook page. It should have the info in there. And then we're going to be doing soon. We'll have our discussion with Dr. Brett Steenbarger, world-renowned trading psychologist and author. There is a forum link. Please post your questions in there. We're trying to make it as efficient as possible so he doesn't get completely bombarded. So you can post your questions in there for him to discuss. And then one last thing, another reminder, please in the chat room use the off-topic tab for nothing directly trading related. If you have questions about brokers, commissions, if you have questions about platforms, if you have questions about what color cat should I get, please post them in the off-topic just to keep this free for trading related stuff. We all know it gets really busy in here. I want to kind of cut the noise out a little bit so people can focus on trading in the main chat. We have people that are looking at the off topic constantly. And if you need to, you can always tag one of us and we'll know to look in there. One other thing, if you are on YouTube watching and you haven't been in our chat room, you'd like to try it out, we have the promo code PREMARKET24 that will give you, I believe it's half price or close to it, for our trial membership that does not renew. So you can come try the chat room for a discounted rate. Once again, that's PREMARKET24, no spaces. That's it, Carlos. Back to you, buddy.
Excellent. So let's get into this, guys. Let's see what looks great, what looks ugly, what we're going to remove, what we're going to keep. Let's start over with QCOM. So again, QCOM here popping up really nice, 3.4. Volume is so. One stock doesn't trade very clean sometimes, but it's worth taking a look here. Just be very careful. Also, make sure you check the spread on this stock. Today looks great, looks very tight, only 8 cents on the pre-market, so that's not bad. But before you take a trade, make sure to look at that, because that's something that sometimes I forget to look at, I'll have to admit. So be careful. So right now, high of the pre-market at 80.23. You have another pop here, which I'm going to mark very close to the high of the pre-market at 80.74, but I'm going to put that down in case you decide to go back up. But right now, it seems like down is the way it's preferring to move here. Low of the pre-market right now, which I think might lose in a couple of minutes or so, 78.56. So let's mark that down. Then towards the bottom, you got a nice area here where you see a lot of daily levels, daily days testing this 77.01. So I'm going to mark that also. And then, as you know, guys, be on the lookout for these whole dollar numbers. 78. It could be an area where you're going to see a loss of momentum if it can lose the 78.56, right? Going back over here, I just want to find we're in this range over here where we had the gap up, right? We had this huge pop over here in this area. So right now, price action is sitting right at this level from this pop up, from this gap up, 78. Where is that? No, 77.01. Is that what I marked? Yep, 77.01. So keep that on your list as well. To have it on there. No, hold on, it's not that one. No, 78.25. There we go, 78.25. That's an area where we have some possible support and resistance. You can see also last night in the after hours, you can see how that level has been tested here as well with little volume. But again, you can see how how the price action is reacting when it's at around that 78.25. So we'll see how this stock trades. Again, guys, be very careful. It could tend to be very choppy, very whippy. Pre-market action right now is looking great. It has a nice little downtrend. Let's see what it does around this low of the pre-market, which looks like it just cracked. So we'll come back to it in a few minutes. AVRO at the moment, still 261,000 shares traded. Daily chart looks interesting. You have a nice pop over here. 21.11 is an area you want to have on your daily. High of the pre-market sitting at 20.78, so we'll mark that down as well. Not much activity right now, though. Right now seems to have lost some gas at the moment, right? It's just kind of really choppy, not clean right now. So, but the daily looks great, so we'll keep it on here for now. If we see something that's better, we can remove this one and keep another one. Towards the bottom, guys, you got plenty of levels. You got this moving average in this area right in here. You have the previous day close as well, and you also have the highs and lows from the last 2 days ago. These are very far down, obviously, because we've been moving up nicely. So let's see if we could find, yeah, but see in here, when I look into this daily here, there's nothing really clean in here. You have this here, which is already supported by the previous day close. You have this drop here, which is supported already by the high of 2 days ago. And then it comes right back up to the previous day close and this high of yesterday. So not many levels within this area for you to really put something in between here. All right, pre-market activity, guys, as I mentioned earlier, not looking great. Hopefully this can get better as we get closer to 9:30. FMS, another stock that's, again, this is a foreign stock. We'll put some levels on this one, but this just doesn't look clean at all. So I'm going to definitely remove this one, but just in case we see in our gapper scanners, 37.63 is the low of the pre-market, 37.64. Let's mark down 38.51. And I'm just going to mark down 39 because you got some moving averages in this area. You also have several days using that as support. Now notice how this stock has a nasty daily chart, so it's very difficult to find levels. I'm only really going to mark down the low of the pre-market, this one here, because it's sticking out like a sore thumb, and the 39 here because you have several days on here bouncing off of that. But I am not going to keep it, guys. I'm going to remove it. It just doesn't look great. CSX is bouncing back a bit here, so we'll mark this one down. We'll see if we can get out of it. Right now, pre-market action is not looking great, but this is a type of stock that probably doesn't get a lot of activity in the pre-market action. The daily does look interesting, though. You have a nice, we talked about it earlier, you had a nice little range here, creating some good levels, support and resistance. Clearly, we lost this support when we gapped down right in here, 76.36. High of the pre-market right now sitting at 74.37, so we'll mark that down. And then towards the top, one more clean level I see here is this one right over here, 75.20. You have a clean day here. You also have several days using it as support and resistance right in this area here. So that's what we have for CSX. If we can lose this, I don't think we're going to lose it now because it's kind of bouncing back now. But if we can lose this 73.21, which we have here, the low of the pre-market, you have a very nice clean level down here at us 22.30 based on these days, right? And you also have it sitting right on this moving average as well. So we'll be on the lookout for that. Ericsson here is again, doesn't move much, guys. Has a nice drop. That's probably the nicest thing it's got going for it, down 8.6. We'll do some levels for it, but I might not keep it just for the fact that it doesn't move much, right? We need stuff to actually move here. So low of the pre-market, 862. We have a level right in here. This is a foreign stock, so the daily chart is nasty, but you do have a drop coming down right to this level and then bouncing back. So I'm going to mark down this 901, and then I'm going to mark down this other one right up here around 931, right? You have what it looks like some days also, you know, in this area, not quite, but right over here, clear bounce from that 931. Again, not a clean daily on here, as we can see, guys. Very choppy, as is a foreign stock, and the pre-market actions does got some activity. 1.5 million shares traded. It's trying to get going, but again, it's just not really giving us a great clean pre-market action. AMD very choppy this morning. Volume is not as great as it usually is. Only 580,000 shares traded. We're right between some levels. I don't think we need to add any more in AMD. I don't think it's going to drop down below this level here. And who knows if it's going to test this high around 34.85. So I think we're good on AMD, guys. Like, unless something crazy happens and we blow by this 34.85, which I don't expect to happen today, we can go back and look for some levels. I'm just going to mark one more towards the bottom in case this thing decides to drop down a bit. 32.64 based on this day here. You got several days also testing that, and you have a moving average coming in right towards the low of 2 days ago as well. So be on the lookout for that. So that's what we have on AMD. Again, not all right volume, but very choppy this morning in the pre-market action. But AMD again has been on a tear the last couple of days, trading very nicely, giving us some good opportunities to trade it. Roku not doing much right now, very light volume. Looks like we started to get some traders in here, but had a beautiful day yesterday, guys. Look at this beautiful pop here. Today we could get some continuation. This is all-time high. Usually when stocks are in that area, they tend to get a lot of activity. Notice the volume here, how great this thing has been trading. If we just zoom out, I mean, this thing has been unstoppable. Had a little dip here, found this moving average, and then just says see ya, heading back up. So let's mark down some levels. We have this one up here, 108.24. We'll mark that one down towards the bottom. We have plenty. We have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days right in here around 105. And you also have a moving average coming in here. So I don't think you need to mark anymore. If you want to have an area, you can mark this one down, 106.08. You have this day testing it here. You also have this one up here testing that 106.08. And then between here, you really have no daily levels because, again, this is the all-time high here in this area. So maybe 110 could be an area you want to watch out for. Mark that 110. Those whole dollar numbers could be an area of a target. Next, we have CH. Actually, we want to delete this one. This is not on the list. We have Tesla next. So Tesla is putting in a nice pre-market activity here. It's got some good action heading back down. 180,000 shares traded so far. High of the pre-market is 256.74. So we'll mark that down. We have plenty of levels towards the bottom. So that's good. A lot of levels towards the bottom. This thing looks like it just wants to head higher in this area. You got the highs and lows from the two highs from yesterday. And the day before. You got the previous day close, and you have the lows from the last two trading days as well. So plenty of levels there, guys. Don't need to add any more. Just one more above the high of the pre-market in case we can get going. I'm gonna probably put this one. I know that's a long way to go, 265, and I'm gonna put this one here from this date. That's a long way to go. I don't think we'll get there, but we'll be on the lookout for that. All right, look out for 260 as well, guys, if we can get there. That's a big move. That's a $5 move on Tesla. You know, that could be very nice. BBBY, again, no volume, guys, so we'll skip this one. Daily chart looks interesting because it's at this bouncing from this 1051 level, which we have been testing a couple of times here. Could be a good one for to watch in the mid-morning if we can get going and head higher towards this level of previous support that became resistance. So we could be on the lookout for that if it hits our scanners, but right now, not looking as one that we want to see. BP, guys, has a nice drop here, but you can't just play this off the drops as we mentioned earlier, because it's a stock that tends to gap a lot up and down. So this really doesn't mean much on this type of stock. So I'm going to remove this one. It's a foreign stock and does not trade very well. FRAN. So let's see what we got going on here. This is the low flow of the day. Looks like it's trading very clean in the pre-market with some news behind it. So 553 high of the pre-market, 554 to be exact. You have a nice level here at 647. Let's see what we have. Look at that nice 647. This level is very clean. You got several days bouncing off of that from the long and the short side. And then you have, let's mark down this one right here. Another one also, you have several wicks, you know, hitting this level as well, 708. Towards the bottom, in case we decide to sell off a bit at the open and do a fallen angel, 480 seems to be a great level. Look at this area. I like to see this sometimes too, where you have it when it comes down below that level and it gets bought right back up, right back up to that level. So clearly buyers are willing to come in here and, you know, get in at this area. So that's nice too. 480. See, yeah, so this looks good today. Again, looks like the low flow of the day is trading very nicely, trending with some really good volume. Almost 2 million shares traded, up 53%. All right, that is all we have, guys. Let's just quickly go through it. So we have QCOM. QCOM looks good pre-market action. AVIO, I'm going to remove this one, guys. Has a great daily here, but again, just the volume is not looking great. The activity is not looking great neither. So let's get rid of this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think this will be the 6th for today. Brian will come on in a few minutes. He'll go over his watches and what he's looking at. And then Andrew will be in shortly after that. Eric looks good. Ericsson looks like it might be putting a double bottom here. Again, this one doesn't move much, but I'm interested to keep this one on my list, see what we can get out of it. We do have shares for short. It's got some good volume. Just the pre-market activity could be a lot better. From here to here, it looks like it is getting better, though. We are getting some more volume, and we are starting to get little movement out of it. But again, it just doesn't move much. The ATR is very low on this. AMD is choppy, but hopefully at the open we can get some kind of activity. Roku is going to be interesting, hopefully in the mid-morning. And then we have Tesla with a good pre-market action. And we have FRNA for the low flow team of up 54%, 2 million shares traded so far. All right, guys, that is all we have. Thank you guys for joining us on YouTube. Have a great trading day today. Again, definitely try out our chat room if you want to see what a whole entire day looks like in our community. Try it out. It's definitely worth taking a look at and seeing if you want to be part of what we got going on here. Norm, anything else that we missed?
That's all I got, man.
All right. Take care, guys. Trade safe.
Take care, guys. Thanks for joining us. Trade safe.